tuning in. Welcome back. This is part 2 of my conversation with Deborah Tavares from StopTheCrime.net. And guys, the way that part 1 ended was basically with me thinking of the document Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars. And this is part 2, all about 5G networks and frequency warfare. As you guys know, Deborah has so much to say, and we only have a finite amount of time. I'll turn this over to Deborah now. Take us away, Deborah. 5G networks. It is an insidious plan. And the FCC is foaming at the mouth to get this thing launched.
Well, we're going to talk about that because it is diabolical, and everyone that is listening, you must engage while your minds are still able to, because we're literally at a point where we will not be able to engage, we will not have control over our bodies or our minds. This is cyborg reality now within our cities. We're going to talk about the 5G, but I'm just going to read this. The emergence of a planet-wide electronic communications grid connecting the thoughts and feelings of billions of people and linking them to rapidly expanding volumes of data, to fast-growing webs of sensors being embedded by millions throughout the world, and to increasingly intelligent devices, robots, and thinking machines, the smartest of which already exceed the capability of all of us in performing a growing list of discrete mental tasks, and now already surpass humans in manifestations of intelligence that we as humans had always assumed would remain the unique province of our species. Sadly, that is no longer the case. So we're going to get into the 5G. It is nothing short of diabolical. We're going to first recommend that all of you go to the top of StopTheCrime.net, the home page, and what you will find is the opportunity to download the symptom list for frequencies. And again, go to the top of StopTheCrime.net. Everyone needs to understand what is occurring. So, the only thing that we can do right now is to disengage from all wireless as soon as possible. Now, it's important to understand what the 5G is doing and what they say it's doing. We're told on the IEEE beamforming document that this technology cooked your eyes like eggs in World War II. Cooked your eyes like eggs. So we need to understand where we are with this and what is happening with the 5G. So we're going to go into what the success of 5G is going to require. On the IEEE, that's IEEE, that means Institute for Electric and Electronic Engineers, you can read a document entitled Everything You Need to Know About 5G. And you all need to understand these are military weapons. These are assault frequencies. If you garner nothing more than that, that's what you need to know. But here's what they're telling us and why they're implementing faster data speeds. Because they're telling us that today's mobile users want faster data speeds and more reliable service. And they say the next generation of wireless networks, 5G, promises to deliver just that and so much more. The 5G users should be able to download a high-definition film in under a second, a task that took 10 minutes on the 4G. The wireless engineers say that networks will boost the development of other new technologies such as autonomous vehicles and the Internet of Things. We are being eliminated. That is the most important takeaway this conversation is about. But they say that, and what I find extremely interesting, and again, you can look at this on StopTheCrime.net. In our bills that we get with Pacific Gas and Electric for our electric bills, almost on a monthly basis, there's a bill insert, And, of course, Pacific Gas and Electric and your utilities are all run by Rothschild. And they have an explanation about EMF frequencies and whether it causes health problems or not. And there's a very interesting paragraph in their insert. They tell us that international, national, and California laws, because these are inserts in our bills, are unable to define whether the frequencies are safe or not safe. And this remains the circumstances of the findings to date. So they're telling us it is still uncertain. They use the word uncertainty. You can download this again at the top of stopthecrime.net. You're likely getting these in your bills. People do not read the inserts. We know that the evil doers are required, it's a code of ethics, that they must let us know what they're doing in advance. So what else is happening now? We've just found out recently that the World Health Organization has identified 5G as an addiction. Video gaming is now an addiction and a mental disorder, of which drugs are now going to be implemented, and this is going to be classified in the International Classification of Diseases, which is a publication that's due out this year. It's updated every so many years, and it will include gaming disorder as a serious health condition. And yet they're telling us that the 5G is necessary so we can connect to the Internet of Things. But yet, it is addiction. But worse than that, this is elimination of people. Now, I'd like all of you to type in Palantir and the Orb, O-R-B. You're going to see a very, very diabolical photograph of Donald Trump in Saudi Arabia, putting his hands on the crystal ball, which represents Palantir, or thought crime prediction. And we need to understand it would not have mattered who got in the White House. It does not matter. We're a corporate structure. We don't have the elected officials that we think we have. And as soon and as quickly as we can discard that propaganda out of our minds, the better off we will be in understanding how we need to protect ourselves. Now, I will tell you, I spoke with Dr. Bill Deagle yesterday, and I was on his show, and he is talking about the creation of a device that will help to reduce the frequencies that we're going to be hit with. We are going to be slaughtered, and many people now are creating devices. So, Sean, when we talk about solutions, we have the capability and the know-how to have certain protections available to us. Many people also have found that crystals used properly can deflect frequencies. We recently learned that the crystals used in the radios in World War II was one of the main advantages that the United States had. And this was the quartz in the radios. So crystals are extremely powerful, and many people are now going to be implementing crystals around their properties and in their homes to deflect some of these frequencies that are now escalating. So let's read a little more about 5G and what some of the problems with 5G is and why the Wildlands Project is being implemented to drive us out of the rural lands. And that is because 5G will not work in the country. It must and will be implemented into the density in the cities. It is a dense network of frequencies. And here's what we know about that. They go on to tell us that there's one problem that the 5G runs into. They tell us that many people are using devices and they're consuming more data than ever before, but their data remains crammed on the same bands of radio frequency spectrum for mobile providers that have always been used in the past. And this means less bandwidth for everyone causing slower service and more dropped connections. This is how they're selling this to us. But they go, the need to really literally deploy hundreds and hundreds of these in our cities. In fact, they tell us that these small, mobile, portable, miniature base stations, or 5G, will be deployed every 820 feet apart throughout our cities. There will be thousands, millions of these throughout our cities. They say to prevent our cell signals from being dropped, the carriers will install millions of these, and they will form a dense network that act like a relay team, receiving signals from other base stations and sending data to users at any location. They go on to tell us that this radically different network structure will provide a more targeted and efficient use of the broadband spectrum. Having more stations means the frequencies that one station uses to connect with devices in one area can be reused by another station serve in another area. But there is a problem. The sheer number of small cells require to build a 5G network, and it will be hard to set up in rural areas. And here's what they're telling us the difficulty in the country areas are. Vegetation prevents the signals from being able to travel, and also rain prevents the signals from traveling. Hence, the weather control and the droughts. That will not prohibit the signals from traveling. Again, they want us out of the country. All of these signals penetrate all structures and all living things. This is what is intended with 5G. And in fact, Sean, we're having meetings here in Santa Rosa because they're rolling them out here now in Northern California, and they're saying that they're going to start rolling these out in Sacramento in California. But these are headed to you too. So what we're finding is that these micro cell towers that are putting unimaginable watts and frequencies into the environment, it's microwave radiation warfare is what this is. And they're putting them on our sidewalks. They can't underground the 5G network. And this is, of course, without any public input or knowledge, just like the Palantir or the Thought Police implementation in New Orleans. Not even the city council, who doesn't represent us anyway, but not even the city council was aware of the implementation of the CIA-backed predictive policing in New Orleans.
Yeah, and you know what? I have to just jump in. I've been quiet this whole time because you really stunned me with that picture of Trump with the magic orb in Saudi Arabia. And these are just a couple of recent headlines here from the Daily Mail 5 days ago. Secretive startup uses predictive policing in New Orleans. And Palantir, the company that knows too much, from New York Daily News just 2 days ago. Guys, this is just as serious as a heart attack. It seems to me that they've privatized their eugenics programs. That's what's going on here, Deborah.
That's exactly what's going on. Now we're going to jump into something else because we literally got this Palantir information from a source that has now sent it out. We've been putting it across on as many outlets as possible. I would highly recommend everyone go to stopthecrime.net, download these documents for yourself, see for yourself what your cities are leading you into. It's not a matter of, sadly, of stopping this. This is a rollout of genocide. Now, we're going to be really trying to create public awareness. This is why we're talking about it right now. But I want to jump in to one more thing that's diabolical, and everyone needs to understand what has also happened to our food supply. We know it's been poisoned. We know the water's been poisoned. We know the air has been poisoned. But we need to talk about Cinemix. And Cinemix is spelled SENOMYX. SENOMYX. And all of you listening can go to stopthecrime.net, type that in our search bar, and you will find this information. It's very startling. You're going to see photographs that are going to be very, very disturbing. But more importantly, you're not going to want to eat this, okay? So we're going to talk about what this is. There's a list of companies that are using human fetal cells from aborted babies as a flavor enhancement in our food supply.
Pepsi was busted for doing that. Pepsi was using that as a flavor enhancer in their cola.
Yeah, PepsiCo is certainly one of them, but the list is very long, and it's important for everybody to download the flyer that we have on stopthecrime.net so you don't consume this aborted fetal tissue. What does it do? Well, it incites anger, and it literally rewires our brain as we cannibalize ourselves. The same thing, of course, which happened with mad cow disease when they were grinding up roadkill and other cattle and feeding it to the cattle. We're being fed our own species, and we must know the products that are certainly implementing this. So I'm going to just read some of this to you now. But again, I caution you when you type in the list of companies using fetal cells from aborted babies, which you can do. Again, the list of companies using fetal cells from aborted babies. You're going to see a very disturbing photograph. But Cinemix is listed on its website, and its partners decided to ignore the letter from the Right to Life group that was certainly organizing against the use of humans in the food supply. And sadly, the Right for Life group lost their bid to stop this during the Obama administration. Now remember, it doesn't matter who's president. Anyone could have been president at that time. We're a corporate structure. We're run by the corporation, and certainly PepsiCo is a massive corporation. So during the Obama administration, and sadly, on February 28th of 2012, the President's Security and Exchange Commission ruled that PepsiCo's use of aborted fetal human tissue remains in their research and development agreement with Cinemix to produce flavor enhancements, falls under ordinary business operations. So we're going to talk about a list of products. You should not be consuming these products. All soft drinks and Pepsi, all drinks Sierra Mist, all drinks Mountain Dew, all in-beer mug root beer and Pepsi, drinks of No Fear, Ocean Spray, Seattle's Best Coffee, all brands of energy drinks, all brands, Aquafina water, Double Shot, some of the Frappuccinos, Gatorade, they go on, Tropicana, all products of Nestle, including coffee creamers, instant soups, bouillon cubes, ketchup, sauces, instant noodles, etc. Bubble gum, Chiclets, Clarets, Dentyne, Trident. There's many other lists of gums as well. You need to look at this for yourselves. They talk about Cadbury Adams candies, and they mention the original gummies and many other Cadbury candies as well. Certs and Halls cough drops. The company produces, there are also companies that produce anti-wrinkle creams containing the cells of aborted babies as well, of 14 weeks gestation. And there's a list of the creams that we need to understand have the aborted fetal tissue in it as well. So I can only say, Sean, we do not have a government. We are being literally fried, cooked by these frequencies. It's like being in a microwave oven. We need to understand how they're going to do away with mass populations in the United States through resilient cities. And the words infrastructure changes after weather weapon assaults. This is what they're doing. Again, they're deploying cameras all over. They plan them in all the states with infrared, as I said earlier, to to track and monitor our movements in real time, 24/7, 365. And I liken this to a deadly video game gone live. I remember the Situation Room that Hillary Clinton and others sat in as they watched the horrific murders that were occurring at that time at the embassy. This is what is happening now. There's a movie called Paintball that I would recommend people take a look at. This is what is happening. We're being wired up, we're being predictively programmed, and we are being slaughtered. So the good news is, I suppose, is you now know you should be detaching yourself from wireless as best possible. Wrap your wireless up in Mylar until you cannot receive a signal. Stay away from your computer LED lights as long as possible. In fact, all your computer screens have LED lights. LED lights are absolutely causing blindness on the way from macular degeneration to other eye diseases, nearsightedness. We're losing our eyesight as a result of the silent weapon systems of our lighting as well. In fact, recently we went to an ophthalmologist and pulled some flyers from the office, and everyone needs to be doing this. You need to understand how technology is being used and the sinister side and how we need to protect our vision. And there's, of course, saying that the vision loss is representing itself as tired eyes, sensitivity to light, loss of sharp contrast of vision, difficulty seeing at night, discomforting glare, fatigue, difficulty staying focused, difficulty falling or staying asleep, headaches, increase in migraines, behavioral issues in children, risk of early onset cataracts, risk of macular degeneration, increased risk of diabetes, increased risk of obesity. This is just from the lighting alone. And the Department of Energy has approved this silent weapons system of lighting throughout our country under the guise of reducing our greenhouse gas emissions. This is a worldwide assault of lighting. It's not just in the United States with the change out now of all of our street lights to LED. We have a YouTube up. It's called LED Lights, a Silent Weapons Assault. We would certainly ask that all of you send this out far and wide, make comments under the video, adding more things that you learn about the assaults of the lighting alone. So by knowing these things, you can make different choices as best you can. We recently had a health forum with a group of people where we are talking about the different things we can do. There's many things that we can do. We have to first also become aware of the poisons in our cooking ware. Much of our cookware in the United States is prohibited from other countries. Did you know that? I didn't know that, but it's true. They use lead and cadmium in glassware that we use to heat things in, and they use coatings on pans that gets into our food. They use metals that get into our foods, and one of the things I didn't know was cast iron is one of the worst. So we're going to have solution information on stopthecrime.net about the kind of cookware that you should get, what you should not be cooking your food in. Even if you're spending more money for what you think is organic, there is sadly, as many of you can appreciate, no such thing as organic, not with the poisons and the level of toxicities in our water. And I want to leave you with probably the best news of all, and that is that we have primary water. We are not running out of water. We have access to pure, fresh drinking water. We need to understand that water is a renewable. Please go to primarywater.org. Take a look at the wonders of water. Don't be deceived. We also, at the very top of stopthecrime.net, have a discussion on the creation of fossil fuels. Our petroleum never did come from dead animals or plant material. And we have the genocide treaty, which I talk about. also at the very top under the banner of stopthecrime.net on the home page, and then flanked by the truth about water. So there are very important things that we need to know. Our children are being hit with frequencies. Never before have we had increased levels of depression and suicide in our children, and it's because of the onslaught of the cell phones. Listen to the cooking of humanity. And Sean, I really want to thank you for having me on today. I hope that people that hear this will go to stopthecrime.net. Please subscribe and watch our YouTubes, and just stay in contact with other like-minded people, because we are heading into a reality that most people don't realize.
Every new generation of wireless networks delivers faster speeds and more functionality to our smartphones. 1G brought us the very first cell phones, 2G let us text for the first time, 3G brought us online, and 4G delivered the speeds that we enjoy today. But as more users come online, 4G networks have just about reached the limit of what they're capable of at a time when users want even more data for their smartphones and devices. Now we're headed toward 5G, the next generation of wireless. It will be able to handle 1,000 times more traffic than today's networks, and it'll be up to 10 times faster than 4G LTE. Just imagine downloading an HD movie in under a second, and then let your imagination run wild. 5G will be the foundation for virtual reality, autonomous driving, the Internet of Things, and stuff we can't even yet imagine. But what exactly is a 5G network? The truth is, experts can't tell us what 5G actually is, because they don't even know yet. But right now there are 5 brand new technologies emerging as the foundation of 5G. Millimeter waves, small cells, massive MIMO, beamforming, and full duplex. First up, technology number 1, millimeter waves. Your smartphone and other electronic devices in your home use very specific frequencies on the radio frequency spectrum, typically those under 6 gigahertz. But these frequencies are starting to get more crowded. Carriers can only squeeze so many bits of data on the same amount of radio frequency spectrum. As more devices come online, we're going to start to see slower service and more dropped connections. The solution is to open up some new real estate. So researchers are experimenting with broadcasting on shorter millimeter waves, those that fall between 30 and 300 gigahertz. This section of spectrum has never been used before for mobile devices, and opening it up means more bandwidth for everyone. But there is a catch. Millimeter waves can't travel well through buildings or other obstacles, and they tend to be absorbed by plants and rain. To get around this problem, we'll need technology number 2, small cell networks. Today's wireless networks rely on large, high-powered cell towers to broadcast their signals over long distances. But remember, higher frequency millimeter waves have a harder time traveling through obstacles, which means if you move behind one, you lose your signal. Small cell networks would solve that problem, using thousands of low-power mini base stations. These base stations would be much closer together than traditional towers, forming a sort of relay team to transmit signals around obstacles. This would be especially useful in cities. As the user moved behind an obstacle, his smartphone would automatically switch to a new base station in better range of his device, allowing him to keep his connection. Next up, technology number 3, massive MIMO. MIMO stands for multiple input, multiple output. Today's 4G base stations have about a dozen ports for antennas that handle all cellular traffic. But massive MIMO base stations can support about 100 ports. This could increase the capacity of today's networks by a factor of 22 or more. Of course, massive MIMO comes with its own complications. Today's cellular antennas broadcast information in every direction at once, and all of those crossing signals could cause serious interference. Which brings us to technology number 4, beamforming. Beamforming is like a traffic signaling system for cellular signals. Instead of broadcasting in every direction, it would allow a base station to send a focused stream of data to a specific user. This precision prevents interference, and it's way more efficient. That means stations could handle more incoming and outgoing data streams at once. Here's how it works. Say you're in a cluster of buildings and you're trying to make a phone call. Your signal is ricocheting off of surrounding buildings and crisscrossing with other signals from users in the area. A massive MIMO base station receives all of these signals and keeps track of the timing and the direction of their arrival. It then uses signal processing algorithms to triangulate exactly where each signal is coming from, and plots the best transmission route back through the air to each phone. Sometimes it'll even bounce individual packets of data in different directions, off of buildings or other objects to keep signals from interfering with each other. The result is a coherent data stream sent only to you. Which brings us to technology number 5, full duplex. If you've ever used a walkie-talkie, you know that in order to communicate, you have to take turns talking and listening. That's kind of a drag. Today's cellular base stations have that exact same holdup. A basic antenna can only do one job at a time, either transmit or receive. This is because of a principle called reciprocity, which is the tendency for radio waves to travel both forward and backward along the same frequency. To understand this, it helps to think of a wave like a train loaded up with data. The frequency it's traveling on is like the train track. And if there's a second train trying to go in the opposite direction on the same track, you're going to get some interference. Up until now, the solution has been to have the trains take turns, or to put all the trains on different tracks or frequencies. But you can make things a lot more efficient by working around reciprocity. Researchers have used silicon transistors to create high-speed switches that halt the backward roll of these waves. It's kind of like a signaling system that can momentarily reroute two trains so that they can get past each other. That means there's a lot more getting done on each track a whole lot faster. We're still working out many of the kinks with millimeter waves, small cell networks, massive MIMO, beamforming, and full duplex. In fact, all of 5G is still a work in progress. It will likely include other new technologies too, and making all of these systems work together will be a whole other challenge. But if experts can figure that out, ultra-fast 5G service could arrive in the next 5 years.
My name is Kevin Modis. I'm with the California Brain Tumor Association, but actually collaborate with 10 other groups. One of the groups is emfscientist.org, emfscientist.org. That's 220 doctors and scientists from 39 countries who have looked at health effects from wireless radiation. And from their work and the work of others, we can clearly say that wireless radiation can cause cancer, neurological problems, immune system disorders, and reproductive harm. Clearly, our scientists, along with the other groups I work with, which are composed of people who are developing wireless health effects from their various sources. For instance, people developing brain tumors from their cell phone and the radiation emits. People developing neurological symptoms from the Wi-Fi, from school Wi-Fi. People developing neurological and cancerous health effects from simple smart meters. Smart meters being little wireless meters that are put on people's homes so that people don't have to come by and read the meter themselves manually. So regardless of the source, and cell towers are the most powerful source of wireless radiation emissions, regardless of the source, the health effects can be the same. So what brings me here today is the rollout of 5G technology. And people need to understand that 5G technology is very different from 2G, 3G, and 4G that preceded it. And that is because the wireless radiation is using a higher frequency. Our current wireless technology uses about 1 gigahertz to 4 gigahertz. This new 5G technology is ultra high frequency, ultra high intensity, and it's 24 gigahertz to 90 gigahertz. To put this in some type of perspective, 90 gigahertz is 90 billion electromagnetic waves per second hitting your body. We know people are already getting sick from the lower frequencies, and we expect, that is our scientists expect, that these higher, ultra high frequency microwaves are going to bring people to disease quicker and in a more intense form. The other problem with 5G technology is these microwaves are very short. So our old microwaves were about 2.5 to 3 feet long. These are now about 1 inch to half an inch long. And they don't travel very well. So they're going to have to put a little cell tower transmitter in front of about every 2 to 10 homes. Now this is a big problem because we know that cancer rates around regular cell towers are about 3 or 4 times what they normally should be. We also know that there's neurological symptoms that increase as you get closer and closer to a cell tower. Now these new transmitters are going to be placed close to people's homes. It's going to be continuous exposure as with other cell towers, but it'll be emitting a much more higher frequency, high intensity wireless radiation.
Ladies and gentlemen, not only are these 5G death towers going to double cancer rates in our country, they are going to be used to target individuals in a way never seen before. Since most people keep their smartphones on them like a tracking device, and since their political profiles are linked to their phones, it only makes sense that this is going to be an easy way to target people silently and without a trace. As you can see with these new 5G death towers, they are going to be focusing beams of high-frequency energy at a user's location. These 5G death towers are in fact particle beam weapons that can be aimed at people. These particle beams move at the speed of light and track you wherever you go. And in most cases, you'll be hit with particle beams coming from multiple directions. This truly is a national emergency, considering who controls this technology. You saw how the IRS was targeting conservatives. You saw how the FBI covered up the Las Vegas and Hillary investigations. Well, what do you think this beast system is going to do with Christians and conservatives on their networks? Zap, zap, and double zap. That's what. Admit it, that's what you would do if you were Dr. Evil. You'd poison the food, the air, the water, and you'd use these death towers to slowly induce cancer. Have no doubt about it, these 5G death towers are bad news any way you look at it. So go to your city council meetings. Protest these bad boys from coming up in your neighborhood before it's too late. If you're listening to this, you are the resistance.
Hi guys, Demon Hunter here. Just want to give you a heads up on these 5G towers. These towers actually have 300-foot spoke copper wheels that span out underground, and they're aimed at altering God's natural Earth frequency, and they're working in conjunction with the space fence above at top of the Sky Dome. As discussed previously, there's an Atlantean-based city atop the Sky Dome. It's built within the firmament, and it's all connected to the ISS, International Space Station, and it's the city up there is run by Tesla free energy, while below we're charged for electricity. During the antediluvian age, Atlantis ran off a higher frequency level, to which is why 5G, the fifth age, age of Aquarius, the golden age of Saturn, Satan, is being implemented. They're looking to terraform the planet, hence planet plane, to accommodate Atlantis and its occupants, Apollyon Destroyer, with its accompanying squadron of demonic filth, all the demons manifesting in the clouds, thanks to CERN opening up the pit. They're looking to reverse the polarity. That's the end game, which will make humanity and animals very sick, to which humanity will be seeking alternative medicinal measures to cure the sickness caused by this 5G radiation. The New World Beast System will introduce a cure. That's their goal, and it's going to be based off transhumanism, where one can become as gods. This is where they'll claim sickness as a thing of the past. So once you accept the mark of the beast, showing your allegiance to Satan, your DNA will change from a double-strand DNA to that of a triple helix, turning you into a machine, and your consciousness uploaded to Satan's one hive mind, which is SKYNET, which is based up in the city within the top of the Sky Dome, and thus Satan being called the Prince of the Air. And God dwells in the hearts of man, not within a machine. Hence, if you take the mark of the beast, you'll actually completely sever any relationship you might have with God, this terminating any chances of salvation. So whatever you do, don't take that mark. And for whosoever will save his life shall lose it, and whosoever will lose his life for Jesus' sake shall find it. So please take up your cross and enjoy the rest of the film. Thank you. Hey guys, Demon Hunter here. The Greatest Showman movie that's out. You can see the symbolism here. You got the Sun Simulator, Apollyon Destroyer. You got all the stars. He's faking the constellations up top. And just like the Sky Dome on the Olympic ceremony, they showed the fake constellations. Renting the veil. It's just counterfeiting Jesus. Again, you got constellations showing on the veil there. This is like the lantern that is taking them up to Apollyon, up to the Sky Dome. The beast jumping through the portal to the Sky Dome. He's down at the Sky Dome now. There's the docking station platforms, the Sun Simulator. You got the spinner wheel, which is symbolic for the 666 symbolism. You got the rings, Lord of the Rings symbolism there. And this is the androgynous figure wearing blue, like the firmament symbolism is what they're showing here. You got all the Freemasons doing all their Freemasonic hand signs. And you got a picture of the inverted Sky Dome with Apollyon Destroyer, the fake simulator. He's capped the dome. This guy is showing the entire story on his face. You got the pyramid, you got the dark sun, you got Apollyon, the dragon coming down above on his forehead. You know, all the Freemason artwork right on his tattoo.
Don't listen to them. They don't understand yet. But they will.
Does it bother you that everything you're selling is fake?
Hey guys, Demon Hunter here. The toroidal fields, okay? We are light beings, we are angels, okay? And the universe or cosmos, or whatever you want to call it, it's electric, it's a torus field, just like that of an apple. We are the apple of God's eye, okay? Let's see here. This is what I just wrote. The Lord gave me. So the toroidal field is a magnetic field in electric cosmos universe, which is created by God. It's Earth's natural frequency. Okay, God's. All right. Sorry. Try that again. Okay. Earth's natural frequency is electric, full of energy, where God's creation was meant to thrive, as we are spiritual light beings, angels, a form of energy to which Satan wishes to cannibalize and devour. We are God's children, and the animals God's creation. Our foe, Satan, is aimed at suffocating the human race, making us choose his kingdom, transhumanism, becoming as God's little g. Satan has simulated an electrical universe using Tesla space fence and 5G network to operate his polluted, inverted electric universe based off technocracy, lies, and deception, thus once again mimicking, copying, polluting, inverting God's creation. So, this is the apple. This is what the toroidal field is. Okay, and this is a better depiction of Earth. Okay, if you consider an apple, half of the apple's under the ground, half the apple's, on the top of the Earth. We live in the upper half. It's a dome. The skin would be the Sky Dome. Okay, and this would be, now looking at this picture, this would actually be this. If you were looking down on Earth, this would be the center. This would be the pit. Okay, this is where Apollyon Destroyer is going to be, that came out of, and now he's sitting up at the top of the Sky Dome, docked at the ISS platform, NASA's platform that they've been building, and they've got a space fence up there that, that's why we have the chemtrails with the grid patterns they were spraying for years, and all the nanobots up there, and they were building a space fence. The space fence is connected to the 5G network. These 5G network towers, they've got a A spoked wheel underground, the base, which is where the most important components of the 5G towers are. They are a copper spoke wheel that spans out 300 feet in all directions underground. This is aimed at altering and changing Earth's natural frequency, changing man's intuition, hence all the animal deaths, all the whale beachings. They operate off sonar and frequencies. So what Satan is doing, he is looking to, and Michael the Archangel has stepped aside now. Satan is in control. He is attempting to replace God's toroidal natural magnetic field with his own copy simulation, which includes 5G network, the space fence, and that of 5G network, space fence, potentially the Russian woodpecker, and Tesla. So this is what we're looking at. Okay, the apple cut in half. So you got the flat Earth, and you even got the globe, but it's as above, so below. So half of it's underground. Okay. And this is the pit. This is Antarctica wall. Okay, the pit is inside the Earth. Atlantis came up out of the pit, and it's docked up at the Apollyon destroyers docked up at the space station. Okay, at the top of our dome. They show this. This here is Geostorm, the movie. You see the space fence there? It's all predictive programming. Satan has to reveal his plans to God's children. That was the plan all along. Agreement that Satan had with God. And he does this by throwing everything into predictive programming, sci-fi movies, or movies, TV, music industry, video games, music. So, now, and this is an old map showing Atlantis there. Now, people say, is Atlantis biblical? Atlantis was before the time of Noah's flood. And let's see here. Let me see if I have it here. We'll just read a bit here. It's known as the antediluvian age. Okay, it's pre-flood. Let's see here. Plato, okay, and all the Greek gods, they were fallen angels. So it's the golden age of Saturn, age of Aquarius, Atlantis. It was where they were free to roam and do whatever they, did. And it was before, let's see, okay, let's just read this. Plato also informs us that Atlantis was inhabited by Poseidon and his family, including Atlas. Before people begin thinking, are you taking Greek mythology seriously, take note that Poseidon was son of Cronus, which is a variant of Kethmus, Kittim, Cronus. Biblically, Kittim is the son of Javan, the son of Japheth, the son of Noah. With this mind, Atlas was likely Noah's great-great-grandson. So when Plato speaks of Poseidon inheriting land from the dispersion of people around the earth, this makes sense. Kittim's Poseidon's father was mentioned in the Tower of Babel account, with the Tower of Babel dispersion happening just 100 years after the flood, according to Ussher, and then the earliest Atlantis could have been inhabited was soon after that time. And Atlantis, supposedly Atlantis ran on a completely different frequency. And so that's why you had them changing up the frequency music, and the music went from either 6 to 7 megahertz or 5 to 6. I'm not sure exactly which one, but they raised the megahertz in the music, and that was in preparation to what they're doing now with Satan looking to simulate his own toroidal field, replacing God's, attempting to. And that's what's in the works now. He's looking to reverse the polarity. Okay? Reversing the polarity. Coming out of the pit. Alright. So now let's go ahead and we'll just start from the top again. Okay, and this is here is Atlantis. This is the TV shows, all predictive programming, stationed at the firmament. You got Atlantis right there in the firmament. You got all the demonic demon faces. I think you can see that here. I got them circled. Okay, that we're seeing in the clouds now. There's the locust in the sky. All predictive programming. Okay, and these are just symbols of ancient artifacts. This is the Wheel of Fortune. I don't know if it's tarot card, but anyway, it's kind of showing the deal. There it is. Vesica Pisces with Cyrus in the middle, and you know, it kind of just shows the same thing. The black sun, it is inside and rises as the destroyer, just as the Bible states. Sorry. This is a photo of the navel of the North Pole showing the vortex. So, and a lot of these images I got from D13 Watchman channel. So you need to sub to his channel. I'm going to back this video up with a video he did, which is spirit-led, and it's amazing. So this is what you have. This is what's above ground, okay? And then you've got below ground. The pit, the Antarctica wall there, we don't know what's going. This right here, that's our Antarctica wall. The pit's there, goes into Hollow Earth. All right. Apollyon Destroyer came on out, and now he's docked at Atlantis, which they've recreated up top at the Sky Dome. Okay. And we can't get to the pit or anything because there's an ice wall that goes completely around it. This is where all the presidents and the blue bloods are going and tending, and they're probably jumping on a Stargate, heading up to the Atlantis city in the firmament that they've created. Now, this here is the UN map. It shows it. This is the pit. Okay? This is also the storm track. Okay? The space fence. Okay? And they've got cloud cloaking ships up there. They're going to be using the Rod of God, which is a satellite that uses kinetic energy weapon system, and they're going to go ahead and blame it on global warming and weather chaos, but all in all, it's them, Apollyon Destroyer, wreaking havoc. Okay? Let's see here. It's just more of the same. More of the same. Alright? Apollyon Destroyer coming out of the pit, docking at the ISS station. The Ox. Satan. And there's the machine. This is what he's created. This is what's above us, up top. Okay? Now, I'm going to further prove this. So there you have it, right there in the center. This is the ice wall. This would be, all the countries and continents. We can't get anywhere here because there's an ice wall completely around it, and then it's hollow earth, the pit. And this is where the Taurus field also comes out. God's Taurus field went through the pit, went through out the other side, circled back around, just like we have in our bodies. And Satan is changing and altering that, reversing the polarity, okay, reigniting Atlantis. Now, let's see here. These are pictures that D. Watchman had that I just took a screenshot out of the pyramid. I think it was Giza. You see the electrical current? They're altering, capable of creating its own. This is in Antarctica too. I think it was Giza. Don't quote me on that. But anyway, there's Atlantis. And I think there's a direct connection from Atlantis at the bottom of the ocean floor pyramid to that at the Sky Dome. But all again, they're just showing you again the electrical universe we're in, and how they can alter the frequency when God allows them to do so. So this is the apple.
There's the as above, so below. Imagine this us with the dome, and then you got the roots at the bottom. Okay, and that's the torus field. Let's see here. It's all the same. It's all in the fruit. I mean, it's everywhere. Okay, and there it is again on an old map. Now, let's go to this. This is the apple. We are the apple of God's eyes. Whereas Satan wants to again mimic and copy and pollute and invert. So, hence the Garden of Eden, the apple that they say. You know, the forbidden fruit. It's got a bite out of it. Think of a tutorial field, torus field. Okay? Satan took a bite at it. He's putting his own Torah field in it, based off transhumanism. Hence, the android biting the apple with all the blood. He's looking to cannibalize God's angels that can't operate in this frequency that he's creating, this simulation. Okay? See? Now, let's see. I mean, and that's us. That's how it works. You know, we're light beings. We're based off electrical current. The phi is based off it. The golden phi. As above, so below. See? You with me? Okay. Now, and there's a map. An old map. Real world map. Australia not under. There's the pit. Okay, this is Geostorm. So what they got going on, you got the space fence over top. It's connected to the 5G and maybe potentially a Russian woodpecker. Everybody's in on it. They got all the satellites up there. They've got the tracking system, this huge tracks, cloud cloaking technology. This is the rod of God that they're going to use. Okay, it's kinetic energy weapon, and there it is flying. They're shooting it. And it's causing havoc. And SKYNET's up there, which is, I would say, Satan consciousness, the one hive mind, symbolism right there. And you take the mark of the beast, because once all this havoc happens, all this weather chaos, you're going to need food and water. What are you going to do? You're going to be crying to the government. And they're going to say, well, in order for us to give you food and water, you need to show allegiance to us. So you're going to have to take the mark of the beast. Though once you take that mark of the beast, it's going to alter your DNA. It's going to change it from a double-strand DNA to a triple helix. You'll be a machine. God dwells in the hearts of men, not in a machine. And then your conscious will be uploaded to the one hive mind. Okay? They're going to make it sound all good, you know, free of sickness. But the thing is, everybody's getting sick because they're changing the frequency, Earth's natural frequency. The animals are dying because they're changing God's natural Earth frequency. God's allowing this to happen. God's ultimately in control. Okay? But Apollyon Destroyer is here now, and he's got a short time. So just more symbolism in the movies. And there it is again. They've got these tracks that go out. And these chemtrail planes, they're covering up these tracks. They're actually demons, and they're also part of this whole contraption up top where they drive down these tracks, these chemtrail planes. They're holographic, and what they're doing is they're letting that the chemtrails are covering out, sending out a gel that covers up all these tracks up there and covers up all that we're seeing up there, the city that's up there. Okay. They're using directed energy weapons. They're mining volcanoes. They're mining the pit. They're mining, they're starting wildfires, getting everybody into megacities, getting everybody out of the rural areas. All part of UN 2030. And there it is, your sun simulator. Okay? And so again, it's just telling the whole same story. Now, and there's a map. I don't know. You could see, I mean, I'm in Florida, so it looks like we're doomed. But not really, because I've got Jesus, so I'm not worried if fear any of this.
And just so you know, I pray to the Lord to make me invisible to the enemy, to get his information out to his children. So, you know, I've been very blessed and protected, and I'm very grateful, but I owe that strictly to Jesus and my prayers for that. And so, anyway, you got the water coming on in from the kinetic energy weapon, the rods of God that they've got up there, and they're going to use MJ 6591 911 6 and 5 11 9. Yeah. Let's see here. So then you have that. Then people are going to ask, what is this? They're showing it right here. This is their sustainable. What is it? Sustainability program, I guess they talk about, but it's all in your face. You know, going green. This is the. This is like what we're seeing above the dome. Okay, Satan, the Apollyon Destroyer, the docking station. There's the Apollyon Destroyer now. Okay, this is the chandelier. It rose from the pit and it's being brought up to the top. Now it's docked at the top. Okay, and this is what we're seeing in the sky. This whole huge honeycomb matrix, you know. And I told you it's all at the Vatican. Apollyon Destroyer, false sun simulator. You know, they got the yeah, I've already broken that down, so go back and watch that. And this is just more as above, so below. Kabbalatry, mysticism, which is all about Atlantis. Atlantis is all about mysticism, sorcery. Okay? And here it is. They're showing like these are just more satanic clothes where you got the 5G tower, as above, so below. They're looking to alter the Earth's natural frequency. And they're doing it. And I'll include a whistleblower who shared the information about the towers, the 5G towers with the copper spoke wheels, and looking to, and he kind of sensed he was looking to alter man's intuition, which I agree, but all in all, this is what it's about. Okay, they're reigniting Atlantis, which operate on a different frequency, which is the golden age of Saturn, Satan. Okay, Apollyon Destroyer. Umbrella Corporation, same thing. That's what's up top. That's what you're looking at. SKYNET. This was a cool drawing. But anyway, so let's now, I just want to, Antarctica, that's what all that was about. Project Paperclip, research that. Hitler, once they supposedly killed him off, NASA brought over, or the government, U.S. brought over all their scientists, and they started NASA and the Grandmaster. And Hitler at the time was looking to create a master race. He was diving into the pit, trying to get giant DNA and make a master race. And he created, with fallen angel technology, forbidden technology, he was able to create UFOs, which are run off magnetism. Okay. And I'll show you that in the video. And that's what you're seeing up in the skies, folks. They have the technology. They've had it for years. And yeah, so now, and again, there's Atlantis. So just imagine a chandelier. The Lord kept putting a chandelier in my head. I'm like, what? So this is a chandelier being raised on up to the Sky Dome, the city they have up there. And I will show you. And again, this is it, just more. This is the first Apple computer. You got Satan, you know, just inverting, polluting everything. And there's the Android, transfusion, mocking God, you know, altering his natural Earth's frequency. Now, and this is, again, you've got the New Jerusalem, which is a cube that will be coming down to the heavens upon Jesus' return. And then, of course, Satan's got to mimic and counterfeit everything. And there's your black cube, which is Saturn, Satan. It's everywhere. Whoops, sorry. You know. So let's see here. Now this is 2014. This is the block they put in their Georgia Guidestones. Again, Satan mocking and mimicking, inverting, including God's, his creation, which was the 10 Commandments. He had to have his commandments, hence the Georgia Guidestones. 2014 block they put in there. What could that possibly be? Well, you got 20 right there. Apollo rising. The Nibiru ship is Apollyon Destroyer. You see the ship in the firmament. You see the chains. I've shown you pictures of the chain. Here it is. Look at the chain right there. This is Apollyon Destroyer. Okay, this is pulled off Peach Nag live feed. Thank you, Peach Nag. And then I have another 14. Here we go. Apollo 14 patch. You have Saturn, Satan, Apollyon Destroyer coming out, going through the firmament, docking at the platform station, the fallen star, and hence they were saying that Satan or Apollyon Destroyer is en route, and now he's here. And this is just the sun simulation. You can see the ship here, you can see the engine turbines, another ship right here. Okay, turbine, sun simulator. There's the honeycomb matrix thing that we're talking about. It's got arms, and there's Prometheus right there. You can see it's the Prometheus ship. They put it all in predictive programming, guys. All up. Sorry about that. You got the holographic technology all up there, and there it is again. Right here, you got the Klingon bird. Again, all in the movies, predictive programming. So there it is again. You can see the engine turbine right there. Okay, the bird, Klingon, Apollyon Destroyers probably is, but you got the serpent, NASA again, the tongue, A, Apollyon Destroyer, S, Satan within the docking station, within the serpent's tongue. Okay, Apollyon has landed. G, gateway. Now, I showed you that. They're showing it in all their Freemasonic artwork. Looking through the firmament, you got the fake sun right there, sun simulator. God's sun is no longer, because the Apollyon Destroyer has capped the dome with his false light. And God has moved out of the way. Now, I'll try to make this quick. Now you guys are... Oh yeah, this is one of the confirmations the Lord's gave me. I was asking confirmation. It's like, what am I seeing? What's up with this docking station and everything? Can you just give me a confirmation? I went to the pet store after taking my dog to a bath, and I picked up a toy. I didn't even look at it. It just looked sturdy. I saw the ring, so I was just like, I'll get that for my dog because it looks durable. I got home, was doing some editing outside. Heavens wanted to play. I started playing with his toy. Next thing you know, I started freaking out because I thought it. I said, "What is this? A cow?" And I'm like, "It's a dragon." And it not only is a dragon, it's a blue blood. And you got a ring right there, Apollyon Destroyer ring. You got another ring up there. Oh, that's the Apollyon Destroyer ring with the face of the dragon. You got the sun, the false simulator. Okay, you got the DNA manipulation that's going to be going on, and you got the ISS docking station, and it's a blue blood reptilian. So, and I got plenty of confirmations from the Lord up top. This is the Georgia Command Stone, Georgia Guidestones. And you will not succeed. Jesus will beat you, Satanists. He already has. It's finished. And it's the same stories all over the NASA patches, IS patches. You got the docking platform, ISS, and you got Apollo coming through the docking. Planet X, Nibiru symbolism. Same thing, pyramid with this satellite up top. Same here, you got the planets, which is actually simulating the satellite going all the way around a sphere, and you got Apollyon Destroyer coming to dock. I've already went through these, but I'll show you again. Same thing here. They're looking to alter the frequency with the space fence. Same thing here. You got the satellite, which is the docking station. The inner one, you got Apollyon Destroyer coming up the middle. capstone on the dollar bill. Vesica Pisces, the good you, the bad you. Apollyon Destroyer in the middle, the enmity within us all, unless you're born again. Same thing, Pyramid, Apollyon Destroyer is a star. You got the docking station. As above, so below. You've got the DNA. You got the Serpent, Apollyon Destroyer. You got the Twin Towers, which was a sacrifice to Apollyon Destroyer. Right there. Whoops. Come on. Well, it's up there. What the heck? There it is. Twin Towers. Okay. Now, same thing here. You got the capstone, the pyramid, docking station, Apollyon Destroyer coming. They even show Dome Earth. As above, so below. Circular docking station. X, Saturn, Cube, Satan, Apollo. All on our face, guys. There's Prometheus, what I said looked like what's on the Sun simulator there. And there's the Klingon bird that I showed you. All in predictive programming. Okay. That's the Tower of Babel. That's what it looks like up there. You know, looking down the honeycomb, the beehive, like what's on his head. The Pope's. And these our chief showed us that these are the chemtrails, but what it is really is a demon on a track shooting a gel to cover up the tracks up there. They're holographic. Rippled wings for a holographed effect. And they run around this track. This is the storm track that is on the Weather Channel, showing it. What's up above? The space fence. Divided in 4 different sectors. And the X is the ox. Satan. Right there you've got the top of the dome, Sky Dome, the Apollyon, where the Apollyon's docked, and they've got their little city up there. Lower level jet streams and upper, but you got these cloaked ships that all rotate around these tracks up there, and they're cloud cloaking, and they're causing all the weather chaos, folks. Tesla, it's just like a sundial, powered by, tower Tesla coil, which is what they're using free energy to run that city up there. And by doing so, they're charging us to pay for all this stuff. Look at AMA, American Medical Association. See the Tesla wheel with the serpent around it? Now, we'll try and get through this. I already showed you that it was at the Capitol building. All the pentagrams going around here. There's Apollyon the Destroyer right in the middle. You can see the ship. It's hidden, but it's there. It's right here on the Freemasonic artwork. Gateway, I, Capitol. There it is. I kind of highlighted it so you could see it better. The golden age of Saturn, they're bringing it back. Okay. The north wing, the south wing. This would be Apollyon Destroyer on top. The dome. We're caught in the dome. Just like, look familiar? Atlantis is even, look at this, the same thing. It's all in the symbolism of all the artwork. Advertisements. Stargate Atlantis, they're telling you the story right there. You got the sun up there, which would have been God's regular sun, but now it's gone. Atlantis is here. You got the all-seeing eye, the capstone, Apollyon Destroyer, Stargate, fallen star, Apollyon Destroyer, and the city under the firmament. Right there from Stargate. This is Atlantis, the hotel. symbolism there is crazy going on. They got this pyramid temple. It has got a slide going down where you got to cross your arms over your heart, and it goes through sharks. Sharks are symbolic for Satan in the cult. And then you wonder why they kept pushing all the sharks. It's everywhere. There it is again. You've got the cube, Saturn, Satan worship coming down. They used to sacrifice people at these pyramids to their god, their false god. Goes through under the ground like a portal. The sharks going to the firmament. Atlantis up top. You got the X before you go through. More symbolism there, duality. You got the docking station in the firmament, Atlantis. Sun in the pool, docking station in the firmament, Atlantis. Right there, they've got a dome at Atlantis showing you the whole thing. Satan, or Apollyon Destroyer. The abyss, the slide, the abyss goes down the there, and you go down the abyss, and then you're in the abyss. All on your face is more symbolism for the shark, showing the cult meeting. Satanists writing their t-shirts up. Hell Satan with the shark. Now this is a picture of the city in the firmament there. You can see a little bit there. I got better ones. No more hiding, wake up. Kudos to him for doing a video on this, and then I saw the objects in the firmament. It's kind of hard to see on that one. I guess you can maybe see it a little bit there, but it's there. I could show you better here, and then we'll wrap this up. You got the NASA people praying to their false god, Apollyon the Destroyer, the pyramid. Now here it is. Let's see. So you got this is a bow shock. It seems like a gateway. This is when I'll get back to that, but this is, again, just to recap, Putin 9/11 memorial. The firmament, notice the firmament. This is a gateway. It's docked on the ISS docking platform, Apollyon Destroyer. Came through the gateway. You got the Atlantis all on the firmament. This here symbolizes this, which is the gateway. This is a rocket going up. It's heading for this line. Once it hits the line, there's a bow shock. It's transcending space and time. And anyway, I don't know what's going on with this. There we go. You can see Atlantis right up there. This is its rear camera of a Chinese space rocket that went up. And then I caught the images, and it's going over the firmament lower orbit to the space station, or whatever they go. I mean, and I have videos on this, so you need to go on each one of these things I've discussed, minus the Taurus field. But yeah, so I guess that's going to be it. I don't want to go too much longer. I'm already at 38 minutes now. And again, it was all at the Olympics ceremony, opening ceremony. False light bearer, Apollyon Destroyer. There it is, Apollyon Destroyer. The three-prong attack that's coming. This is on the Time magazine, which is the rod of God, probably. There it is, the Sky Dome, Apollyon Destroyer, the city up top. They're showing it to you all at the open ceremony. The drones that they used, it's the falling star drone from Intel. They did a complete promotion for it. Media, they're talking about the stupid drone, and they have to label it Intel Star Drone. Look at this. Okay, you got the just, and there he is, Apollyon Destroyer in the firmament. They're showing it right to you guys, right to you, right in your faces. The different quadrants. All these continents are on board, man. But yeah, okay, let's go ahead and finish this, and then I'm going to go ahead, do a quick scan, and what we'll do is I'm going to follow this up with D13 Watchman's video. I'll probably have to put that in another video. Maybe I'll tie them together. Either I'll label it part 1 and part 2, or it'll be following this. But anyway, that's what the Lord is showing me. That's what I'm sharing with you. Please go review the rest of my videos, because the information I'm sharing is what the Lord's been sharing me, so you need to get caught up on the other videos to understand what's going on, what's being seen. And my Lord is Jesus Christ, Yeshua HaMashiach, and I am born again and fulfilling the will that God has placed before me to get this information out to you guys. And if you haven't given your life to Jesus, I pray that you do so, for He is our only saving grace. All right, guys, you take care and enjoy the film, and may God bless you all. Bye-bye.
Augmentation initiated. Neural speeds increasing to 4G LTE. Brain upgrading to a quad-core processor. Predictive intelligence with Google Now complete.
Introducing Droid DNA by HTC. It's not an upgrade to your phone, it's an upgrade to yourself.